Agricultural Committee meeting. Today is Tuesday, January 3rd. I thank you all for attending. I do detect a quorum, and Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
We have a few bills on second reading, and that's it. We don't have any consent items. The bills that we have, starting with 2022-1630, Swope Syracuse Hall amends Title II of the Metropolitan Code to create the Nashville Film and Television Advisory Board. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Question. I believe both of these were deferred in budget finance.
Right, they were, but I thought that the proper thing to do is to say that, to put a motion on there so we can then move for deferral. So it has been properly moved and seconded. As Councilmember Bradford has indicated, both 1630 and 1631 have been deferred in budget and finance. So, for 2 meetings. So, do you want to go ahead and get a motion on a deferral motion?
Move deferral 2 meetings.
Second.
Second that.
Is there any discussion? Yes.
I'll wait till committee members want to say anything, but if no one has anything.
Okay, well, just 1 second. Is there any discussion by our committee members?
I would like to ask, during this 2-week deferral, for the chair to consider an opportunity for this committee to speak about this opportunity. I think that we've got both the same 2 things coming at us again, and I believe that there may be a solution, and I want to make sure that the committee has a chance to be able to participate in offering those solutions.
I would certainly agree, because I would rather see something come that each can mutually agree upon and not have politics or even the appearance of politics to be ruling what we have here, but there is actually an opportunity for us to work together and come away with something that mutually benefits both groups. Before we go to any other committee members, I'd like to give the sponsor of one of the bills an opportunity to speak if she'd like to.
Thank you, Chair. As the bill is going to be deferred, we'll take some time and see. I think we've all received emails what the stakeholders want, so we just need to figure out how we create one commission that's the right size and move forward from there. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, now, Councilmember
Thank you. I appreciate what Councilmember Van Rees has brought forth, and I would just say I've sat in on a couple of these meetings. Just I was so clueless at the beginning. I was just trying to figure out what was going on, and I learned a lot from what the stakeholders have said, and would ask if this committee could specifically participate in or even hold your own workshops or something in what the mayor's office is planning to convene. I just feel like the more of us that sit and hear what's going on, the better we can, because it's been a major education for a lot of us of what in the world goes on in this industry. But a few of us here have insider knowledge, and the rest of us are starting from ground zero. So I don't know if that looks like this committee calling a special meeting or working with the mayor's office to include the members of this committee if they choose to also be part of that. And I'm along for the ride at this point, just because I feel like there's an awful lot in common that's going on here that I'm hopeful that
Right, and I would agree with that. Even looking at the legislation, they seem to be similar as they did with the last 2 that was brought forth. So I would leave it up to the committee to decide what it is that you all would like to do, and we can definitely ask for a meeting, or we can meet amongst.
If I can make a suggestion that the chair reach out to the mayor's office and ask that the committee participate in whatever it is they're working on.
Absolutely. Anything else? We definitely do that, and we'll get back with you to let you know what the resolution is with the mayor's office. Thank you so much. Thank you, Councilmember Allen. So it's been properly. Do you have something, Councilmember Sirkis?
No, go ahead.
It's been properly moved and seconded that this 1630 and 1631 both are deferred for 2 minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. The next item that we have is Bill 2022-1636, Johnston, Roden, Withers, and Hurt approves the Fourth Amendment to the lease agreement between the Metropolitan Government and the Nashville Zoo Incorporated, approving the conveyance of property from the Nashville Zoo, Inc. via quitclaim to the Metropolitan Government and a participation agreement between the Metropolitan Government and the Nashville Zoo, Inc. for the construction of a facility, park, and garage. Is there a motion? It has been properly moved and seconded. We do have a letter of approval from Councilmember Roden. Is there, Councilmember Johnston, did I see her here? Yes, would you like to make a
Sure, I
statement?
can just briefly explain. So this, the lease was entered into in 1996 between the zoo and Metro Nashville. It's a 40-year lease for $40, so $1 per year. It does have a 40-year extension at the end of that 40-year lease. This amendment is to quitclaim deed, meaning $0 property transfer from the zoo to Metro, because they own a little less than half, I think, of the land that's underneath the garage that's being built. So for us to own that property that we have invested $15 million into, it's a $38 million garage. We have to own it, so we have to own the land. So that's all this is they're just giving us the land. There was another question, just briefly. All the revenue goes to them, but
Right.
they also keep up with all the maintenance. So we have no more responsibility financially for that garage.
Good, thank you so very much.
If I can I ask just a question that just popped into my head, which is
Sure.
never really a good idea, but
Sure.
if you could,
Yeah.
make sure that Zeus is communicating with Metro Arts and Culture about the possibility of muraling
Oh,
the
cool.
garage
Yeah.
in whatever way is appropriate.
Yeah, I think they would love that idea. Now they were looking at some different stuff, so yeah, I will send a text message to them right now.
Cool.
Okay. You're talking about murals. I know the one that they had on the railroad trestle.
Yeah.
Looked like it's faded. They might need to add some more paint to it or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure the organization that facilitated that.
It's still, do you know,
We have
Jonathan?
a new grant that had come in this year to update that mural
Okay.
again. So it is, another artist has been chosen, and they are renewing the mural on the overpass.
Who's the artist? Do you know?
Oh,
Well, the original
That's okay.
one
Sorry
was
to put
Michael
you on the
Cooper.
That was
spot.
me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Michael
put you on
Cooper
the
was
spot.
the original one that actually,
was it?
Michael Cooper
Okay.
Yeah.
was the
remember.
original muralist.
Gotcha. Okay.
that
Okay.
realism.
All right.
Sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Councilmember Van Reese. Thank you, Councilmember Johnston. Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now, we have our last bill, 2022-1637. Withers, Roden, Hurt approves a purchase and sale agreement between the trust for public land and Metropolitan Government for a parcel property located at 1900 Forest Avenue for the purposes of expanding Lockland Springs Park. We also have a letter of approval from Councilmember Roden, who's the sponsor of this. And is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. We have discussion. Councilman Withers?
Try not to repeat too much of what I said in Budget and Finance, but this is a collaboration between the property owner who purchased this house that is surrounded by about 5 acres. They worked with Trust for Public Land, and we have Noel who's here from Trust for Public Land. I had worked with Mayor Cooper to request about 50% of the estimated purchase price in the recent capital spending plan, sort of as a local match for the private fundraising. We were successful in the private fundraising effort, and that is how the Trust for Public Land is able to sell the land back to Metro at a significant discount from the appraised value. There will be a conservation easement placed on the land to ensure that it remains open space. We do have an existing park called Lockland Springs Park. This is named after the Lockland Springs stream, which runs along this land. So with this acquisition, we will now control all of that stream bed for the Lockland Springs stream and can maintain it as a natural area and a learning area. And Trust for Public Land is working with us as well to set up a Friends of Lockland Springs book group that will continue the tree planting and maintenance and outdoor classroom spaces that we'll have there for a long
That's
time.
awesome.
So,
That's awesome. I think you've done an amazing job in utilizing that public-private partnership, bringing in the community, making sure that they are actually getting the things that they want. And I think this is a grand example of how all of that can work together. So I thank you for your leadership in that. I know Parks Department is very happy, so we're really happy about it. Are there any more discussions, questions, or comments? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all very much. That ends our agenda. I appreciate it.
Something, well, it's not, I'm not sick though.